My parents died in a car accident on a rainy afternoon in the suburbs of Georgia. They left behind more than just tears, they left us the house. And with it, a decision none of us were ready to face. I'm Lily, the youngest. The quiet one who used to play piano in the attic and believed that home was something more than bricks and drywall. Jason, the eldest, practical, risk-averse, living in Atlanta with spreadsheets always ready. Claire, the middle one, once the glue that held us together. Until life pulled her apart with a divorce and 2 kids to raise. We stood in the kitchen a week after the funeral. The same kitchen that once smelled of Mom's cinnamon rolls, now filled only with the ticking of a wall clock. The lawyer had just told us, the house was legally in all 3 of our names. Jason spoke first. We should sell it. Claire said nothing. She just glanced at her phone, eyes calculating. I gripped the edge of the table, voice barely above a whisper. What if we kept it? Jason sighed. Claire shook her head. It's just a house. Lily, Jason said. No, I whispered. It's home. And right then, I realized, to some people, home could have a price. A month after the funeral, Jason came back to town, with a man I didn't recognize. He was well dressed, wore glasses, carried a thick folder and an iPad. I could hear them from the living room, tossing around words like property appraisal, rebuild potential, and residential growth. Jason was no longer the big brother who once drove me around the lake just to clear my head. Now, he looked like a real estate agent, selling off our memories. Claire was in the kitchen corner, mixing formula for baby Emma while scrolling through emails from the preschool. You know, she said, eyes still on her phone. If we sell the house, I could pay off my credit cards, cover Emma's school, maybe even save a little. I'll still visit, when I can. You talk like, this place doesn't mean anything to you anymore. I said, trying to keep my voice from shaking. She paused, lowered the bottle, and looked at me, tired. Honest. It used to be home. But now it's just debt. Lily, you've never raised a child. You don't know what it's like to stare at a calculator every night while your tears fall on the bills. I understood. I really did. But my heart still ached. We had already lost Mom and Dad. If we lost the house too, what would be left? That evening, Jason returned. He placed a stack of papers on the kitchen table. This is an offer. A company's willing to buy it outright. All cash. Good price. We split it 3 ways. Clean break. Everyone moves on. I looked at the papers. My hands trembled. My parents' names were still on the deed. Signing it would feel like erasing them. No, I said quietly. I want to keep the house. I have a plan. I could apply for a loan, turn it into a community art space. Teach music to kids. I just need more time. Jason raised an eyebrow, his voice colder than the night wind. Lily, this isn't some teenage dream. This is real estate. You don't have the money. You don't have investors. And we can't wait forever on your maybe. I froze. Claire didn't say a word. She just quietly packed away Emma's toys. It felt like I was standing in a house that used to echo with laughter. Now hollow, just the shell of a memory already halfway gone. The following week, Jason filed for a forced sale. In Georgia, when co-owners can't agree, the court can intervene. I got the court papers in the mail, and it felt like being sued by your own blood. That night, I sat alone in Mom's old bedroom. My fingers touched her wedding dress still hanging behind the door. The fabric now yellowed with time. I sat at the piano. And played. Not for anyone. Not to be heard. Just so I wouldn't fall apart. The day of the court hearing. It didn't rain. But I still brought an umbrella. Maybe because I knew something inside me was going to break. And I didn't want anyone to see the tears. The courtroom wasn't big. But it was big enough to make me feel small. Claire sat across from me. Exhausted. Eyes avoiding mine. Jason stayed on his phone until the last minute. As if this were just another boardroom meeting. The judge read through the case. No one objected. No one said much at all. Just a few cold formalities. A few signatures. A quiet confirmation that we were all co-owners. Then, the decision. The house would be sold at auction. Split evenly. 3 ways. I didn't cry. It felt like someone had quietly reached into my chest and taken out my heart. Claire held my hand on the way out. But her hand was cold. trembling, like she, too, had just lost something, but didn't realize it yet. Months later, the house went on the market. A young couple from the city bought it. They planned to tear it down and build a modern villa. I heard they had blueprints ready. Everything would go. The slanted roof, the back porch, the place I used to sit and play piano every summer when I was 12. I never went back to see it. I couldn't. Jason used his share to invest in a tech startup. Claire paid off her debts and moved to a small town in Tennessee, where the schools were better. And I moved into a cramped rental in Savannah. Taught piano to kids at night. Played in a cafe on weekends. No one called. No one wrote. There was only silence between us. One night, I opened an old recording. A half-finished piece I wrote back in that house. No lyrics. Just notes. But every chord carried something. Dad's voice calling from the kitchen. Mom knocking gently on my door. Claire's laugh riding her bike down the driveway. Jason bouncing a basketball just outside the porch. I rewrote the ending. Gave it closure. A sad piece. Yes. But soft. Gentle. I named it, The House We Lost. I don't know why, but I sent it to Jason and Claire. No message. No anger. No request. Just music. A week later, Claire called. The first time in over a year. She didn't say much. Just breathed into the phone. And then she broke down. Lily, I listened to that piece all night. Emma asked me, Mommy, who do you miss? And I couldn't answer her. The next day, Jason came to a small cafe where I was performing. He sat in the back corner, wearing a baseball cap, quiet, like a stranger. I saw him. I didn't say anything. I just played the song. This time, so someone could really hear it. After the set, he walked up, didn't say much, just handed me an old photo. The three of us, sitting on the front steps of the house. Ice cream dripping down our hands. Smiling so wide the sun behind us looked blurry. I was wrong, Lil, Jason said. We all were, I replied. 2 months after that cafe performance, I held a small exhibit. It wasn't in some fancy gallery. Just a space I rented behind an old bookstore. I called it, What's Left After a House Is Gone. Inside, I hung black and white photographs. Mom and Dad by the fireplace. Us as kids, knees tucked under on the front porch. Long summer evenings, warm kitchen nights, forgotten smiles. In the center of the room, I placed an old upright piano I'd found at a garage sale. Not the one we had, but close enough to feel familiar. I sent Jason and Claire an invitation. No expectations, just a line that said, If you're free, I'd really love to see you there. I didn't think they'd come, but they did. At the same time, no planning, no tension. Jason came with his wife and newborn. Claire held little Emma's hand. And I stood there, hands shaking, like time had folded in on itself. We didn't say much, just walked slowly through the memories. Sat quietly together in a room filled with old wood and soft music. I played The House We Lost one last time that night. But this time, the song wasn't sad. It was a thank you, an apology, a farewell, and a welcome home. After the exhibit, we had dinner together, our first in nearly 4 years. Claire told stories about Emma's singing. Jason shared how nervous he was changing his baby's diaper for the first time. I just listened, smiled, because I knew, finally, we weren't back because of the house. We were back because we finally understood. The most valuable thing wasn't the house. It was us. I used to think I lost everything when we sold that house. But then I realized, home isn't a place. It's people. Money can be divided 3 ways. But memories? They're indivisible. Sometimes, in chasing what we think we need, we forget what truly matters. Money helps us survive, but family gives us a reason to. If there's someone you once called brother, sister, but now they feel far away, try sending them a song, an old photo, a quiet, honest, I miss you, because sometimes, healing doesn't come from the big things. It comes from the small ones. The true ones. The ones that still whisper long after the music ends.